Okay, so that was kind of scary. For a minute there, I was thinking I wasn't gonna be able to stream tonight. Well, this is Mike at first. Without further ado, we're about 1 or 2 minutes late. That's fine. Little technical difficulties, which is weird because I never actually have those here on the show. It's been pretty real. So I appreciate those of you who are patiently waiting, whether you're local on Facebook, whether you're seeing it on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube. This is Mike at first on Toronto Sports and Zingo TV channel 761 on Tuesday, January 26, 2021. On today's show, we've got Aaron Rodgers talk. He joined the Pat McAfee show. We'll also break down the NFC Championship game on his performance. Should he have run? Should they have gone for two? Or should I say gone for the touchdown, should I say? And we'll talk about how Tom Brady did. LeBron James single-handedly took down the Cavaliers, something the Brooklyn Nets could not do twice. Super Bowl 55 is set. We'll talk about that. Also, Phillip Rivers retired as a member of the Indianapolis Colts, and of course, in the Chargers. But something Chris Carter said really made me wonder about if he's actually a Hall of Famer. I've been vocal about it before. Have I changed my mind? We'll discuss that. Also, Drew Brees, was he given excuses by his wife? Also, Kobe Bryant 1 year later. This is Mike Said It First.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. The challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air network.
The Green Bay Packers is our first topic, and more specifically, Aaron Rodgers. Remember to follow Mike on tour, the show on Twitter, at 12ounce_Mike. That's 120Z_MIKE to join with the discussion. Or just use hashtag 12ounce_Mike. That's hashtag 120Z_Mike, and I will make sure to see what the folks got going on, and we'll talk about it. Aaron Rodgers was a member of the Green Bay Packers this year, of course, once again. And Aaron Rodgers had a team that lost after he put up an MVP-type season, will most likely win the MVP. And now his team is at the losing end of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who advanced to the Super Bowl, being the first team to ever be in the city that hosts the big game. The final score was 31-26 in favor of Tampa Bay. But as natural knee-jerk reactions would be, the game was more about Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. We know coming into the season, Tom Brady, it was all about the legacy on whether he could win without Bill Belichick. And given the circumstances of his supporting cast, obviously Tom Brady is now back in the Super Bowl and Bill Belichick is on the couch. But without dwelling on that too much, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady's performances in that game. 47 million people tuned in as the Packers kind of started slow. The Buccaneers went up. Then the Buccaneers at the end of the half, second quarter, Aaron Rodgers throws a pass, and this quarterback tugs the jersey of the wide receiver, and it's intercepted, but no flag is thrown. Keep that in mind that no flag was thrown. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind to really preface what I'm about to say, because it has to be said. I told you guys before, context matters, and please hear me out. So then, of course, Tom Brady throws it to Scotty Miller. There's been speculation that Kevin King, and keep Kevin King's name in your mind as well, that Kevin King underestimated the speed of a white boy. I don't know how you can forget about Scotty Miller's speed, but Kevin King did just that. In the third quarter, the Buccaneers are on defense. Aaron Rodgers, his team could not do anything with it. The Buccaneers get the ball. Actually, Aaron Jones fumbles the ball as Aaron Rodgers is driving. So the Buccaneers get it at like the 1 yard line, and Tom Brady throws it to the back of the end zone for a wide open Cameron Brates. From that moment, Aaron Jones is hurt, and thank God for Packers fans, because after that, the Packers finally woke up. But to this point, Aaron Rodgers had only missed 2 or 3 passes the entire game. Fast forward to mid-third quarter and towards the beginning of the fourth quarter, Tom Brady, the great one, Tom Brady, goes 3 consecutive, not 3 drives, 3 back-to-back-to-back drives where he throws an interception. No miscommunication, just flat-out interception, one after the other. Finally, the Packers have the ball. They're driving down with 2:02 left from the 8-yard line. It is 3rd down and goal. Aaron Rodgers does not run the ball into the end zone. Although, if I'm being honest, it was still probably 4th and goal at the 1 or 2, because I don't think he could have gotten there. I think he would have been hit about the 1 or the 2 yard line. That being said, Matt LaFleur decides to kick the field goal. Now, I will actually be one of the few people, surprise, surprise, I'm going against the media speculation. I genuinely believe that it was not a problem kicking the field goal. I believe that. I understand that public speculation is, why don't you just go for it? I get it. But then you still have to go for 2 anyways. Either way, you need a touchdown. Kicking the field goal means you don't need a 2-point conversion, which is even harder to do than a field goal. They kicked the field goal. So with like 2:02 left, there's still a 2-minute warning. There's still 3 timeouts. But Kevin King decides to pull at the shirt of one rookie, Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson, you could not see him being held. What you could see is him falling down blatantly. Let me be completely unbiased about this. That flag would not have been thrown had Tyler Johnson not flopped. Kevin King might have been holding, but Kevin King did not impede the progress of Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson was running full speed, and a little tug of some random cloth, some random dry fit shirt, does not mean that ball would have gotten to Tyler Johnson. But I have a question for people who are today, yesterday, and in the future, condemning Aaron Rodgers. Which quarterback threw 3 interceptions? Tom Brady. Which quarterback was able to benefit from that call? Because please hear me out when I say this. For 3.5 quarters, the referees are, in a sense, telling these defenders it is okay to pull and tug a little bit. It's okay to hand fights. That is what the referees were telling us for 3.5 quarters. For that one play that is thrown out the window, why is that Tom Brady's greatness and Aaron Rodgers' demise? I want to know. Stop with your stuff of Tom Brady's just the GOAT and you're just a crybaby. Stop it. Be a man. Tell me. If you're playing quarterback for the entire game, you're told what you can do. And then you're told it's not okay. In what situation can you win? It is literally 0% impossible of happening. You're a liar, you're biased, you're a cheater, you're an idiot if you try to convince me that that's not a thing. Get this cloud away from your brain that tells you that Tom Brady, stop that. You have a brain. You have eyes. And I thought about something for a minute. When I was watching the game, and really when the game ended, something came into my brain that I was very sick to my stomach about. I have watched football since 2004, 2005. I cannot recall one Tom Brady quarterback game where I was not on the edge of my seat because there might be a bad call. From the moment I saw his first game, and I've read about the cheating, and I've heard about the referees giving him the benefit of the doubt, I have told myself something is going to happen. The only thing that should decide a football game is a pigskin and 22 players. That's it. I should not, as a fan of football, be on the edge of my seat because there might be a phantom flag. That holding call was sold by Tyler Johnson, who I have no respect for flopping because the ball was overthrown. I am curious as to why people with functioning brains will call me personal names. Because I saw what happened and am told otherwise. It is so frustrating as a person who's a fan of football to see that call and idiots on Twitter tell me why I'm just a hater. Bring up a good point without insulting me. You make me not want to watch sports ever again. Because football fans are stupid and ignorant. This is not about Tom Brady. This is clearly about the referees. And I'm sick and tired of watching a football game and thinking, well, God, this player can be great, but I don't think he is great because the referees. For 3, mostly 4 quarters, you were told by the referees, the players are told, you can pull and tug until that play that benefits Tom Brady. That is sickening. You know it's sickening. Football is entertainment. It should be able to be speculated on. I should have to speculate on rule enforcers who overstep their boundaries. Don't Tom Brady goat talk me ever again. He's a cheater. And I've had to suffer through all of this crap. I'm personally insulted because of the way I look. That's middle school.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. But challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air network.
Two weeks ago, I started watching Pat McAfee with his show with AJ Hawk via YouTube, which also airs on SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio. I grew a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers, who decided to surprise the show today and come on and talk just less than 48 hours after he lost an NFC Championship game. And while I regret nothing I just said in my rant about Tom Brady, I want to make it clear the Green Bay Packers could have done more things to win that football game. And I do not believe the referees changed the outcome of a game, but they definitely influenced momentum. And Aaron Rodgers, for him to not call out the referees is pretty stinking admirable. He also said that he doesn't care about the speculation about Matt LaFleur, although he thought it was 4-down territory when the Packers were 4th and goal from the 8. Aaron Rodgers respects the decision that Matt LaFleur made because every last decision would have been criticized, although I just told you guys that a 2-point conversion is a lot harder to get than a little 40-yard field goal. Aaron Rodgers will once again be deprived of a Super Bowl, but I gained a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers, even more so than I had before, because of how big of a man it took to come on that show this afternoon and just talk crap, just answer some questions that people wanted to know about, and I was very respectful of that. I don't know if you've heard, but LeBron James returned to Cleveland and dropped 46 points. The Brooklyn Nets are a team that also went to Cleveland, that superstar team, and guess what happened? Well, I'll be honest, the Brooklyn Nets found a way to lose not one, but both of the games for back-to-back. Then the Nets barely beat the Heat until Kevin Durant shooting 11-11, and then the Nets barely beat the Heat again last night, and both games the Heat have had no Jimmy Butler and no Tyler Hero. But LeBron James, at 30-something thousand years old at this point, is still the best player in the NBA. It's not. I don't know if it's close. I try to think about things in an unbiased view, especially for the sake of my show. 12-Ounce Sports, we like to be different, and we like to be outspoken, and we don't care about national narratives. But we do want to be unbiased. We don't want to have a clear-cut number one, although we do have our own little favorites. But LeBron James scored 46 points and single-handedly took a close game against the Cavs and beat them. The Nets could not do it both times, and Kyrie was also a Cav, so I really don't want to hear anything about, well, LeBron was more motivated. They both should have been motivated. The Brooklyn Nets at this point still have no defense, and they still have no chemistry. They've had 4 games against inferior opponents and came close to losing all 4. That's not going to cut it. I should not have to have Kyrie and James Harden and Kevin Durant, after what you guys are telling me about them, I shouldn't have to defend them barely winning or losing a game. Because from what you guys tell me, that they're just the best thing that ever happened to the NBA. It's crazy, though. Super Bowl 55 is set. The other game that occurred was not really worth talking about because although the Buffalo Bills tried to influence people to say, well, watch out for the Bills Mafia, I've said on Mike said it first, this team was the Baltimore Ravens of a year ago. They had a bunch of hype. And I kept telling people that Josh Allen was going to choke, or not really choke, he was going to be inconsistent. Because there's a difference between choking and just not being a consistent quarterback. I can go outside and throw, out of 10 passes, I'll throw about 3 or 4 dimes. But the guys that can throw 10 dimes in a row without ever wavering, that's the greatest quarterbacks. That's why Tom Brady, although he's a blatant cheater, I've said that Tom Brady is still consistent and hardworking. Like, I can talk about Deflategate or Spygate or the Tuck rule or just any of it, but what you cannot defend is that he has overachieved because he works hard and he's consistent. So, for Josh Allen, he obviously is 1 year away. Now, actually, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are in the same boat. They both have had borderline MVP years, although Lamar Jackson could run faster, so he did win the MVP. But Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson both must get better at throwing a football. As for the Kansas City Chiefs, the story early Monday was they came back down from 9-0, and I'll be very clear, I didn't care about the 9-0 deficit. Watching that game, it didn't feel like the Chiefs were ever going to lose. I mean, McCole Hardman's fumble set up the touchdown. Like, that you kind of knew that McCole Hardman just made a mistake. I think the next drive, he ended up scoring a touchdown, or he ended up going 50 or 60 yards on the next drive. As for the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, it will be a great game, and I pray for the love of sports that the referees do not influence the outcome like they did against the Packers. And I'll be honest, I don't want to come on the show on February the 8th or February the 9th when my show is. I don't want to come on the show and talk about the referees. I want to congratulate the Buccaneers or the Chiefs. I'm leaning towards the Chiefs. I probably will pick the Chiefs, and you can tell me at hashtag 12ounce Mike or at 12ounce_Mike what you guys think, who's going to win and why. Give me some MVP predictions as well. But I cannot wait to pick this thing. Remember, our picks are presented by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag is your sports betting place to be. Promo code 12ounce-sports. That's promo code 12OZ-sports. All caps, no spaces. We're up to a $1,000 first deposit bonus. Nobody does it like MyBookie and 12ounce Sports. Appreciate all of you that have tuned in. I'm going to compromise in a minute after our next commercial break. I'm going to talk about Phillip Rivers after seeing him with the Indianapolis Colts, and now he's retired. What do I think? Is he a Hall of Famer? Have I changed my mind? And if I have, what or who did so? Later on, Drew Brees is getting excuses. Interesting. And also we'll talk Kobe Bryant 1 year later and some more sad news on the show.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. But challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air network.
Huge shout outs to 12 Sports and also mybookie.ag and 12sportsnetwork.com/Amazon. If you did not tell what the affiliate link was for 12sportsnetwork.com/Amazon, just remember it costs you nothing and takes you no extra time to go to that website. It takes you straight to Amazon. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, no loopholes. Just a little affiliate link to help out the good people at 12 Sports. Tuesday nights is our Tuesday night Triple Crown here on 12 Sports. At 6 o'clock Eastern Time, p.m., we have Mitch Bernstein of The Burn with Mitch. At 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, Captain Lou of the Captain Lou Extravaganza. He had some big news tonight. Also has a website, CaptainLou.net. And, of course, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock is your boy. I want to be very clear when I say what I'm about to say. As I'll preface my comments once again. Philip Rivers, for a long time on my show, actually about a year ago, or not even that, I received a little bit of hate because I said that Philip Rivers was a Hall of very good quarterback, not a Hall of Fame quarterback. I said Adam Vinatieri is more qualified than Philip Rivers and Eli Manning. Seems like the general consensus is that Eli Manning is probably not one, which is what I've said before. But he'll probably get in because of his last name, because it is Smith, it's Eli Manning. But Philip Rivers is the big debate, especially since he's retired now after leading the Colts to a wild card appearance. And I'm having a pretty good season, if I do say so myself, as a Colts fan since 2005. I still believe that kicker Adam Vinatieri is more qualified than Philip Rivers. I still believe Philip Rivers is a very good quarterback and not a great quarterback. That being said, Chris Carter was a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Not that I care about that part. But he went on the Pat McAfee show last week, and I went over the weekend, slept on this, napped on this, talked about this with myself. And I thought to myself, what Chris Carter said, again, I don't care that he's a Hall of Famer, I care about what he said. Chris Carter said he brought up the whole fact that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Drew Brees play in the same era as Philip Rivers. That kind of hurt him with a Super Bowl. But I've always said I didn't care if Rivers had a Super Bowl or not. He was never good enough. But Chris Carter said, wasn't that Philip Rivers was great? He was just very good for such a long time. And that durability is sometimes your best ability. I've thought about that for quite some time over the weekend. I really, really thought, because I am firm in my beliefs. Here on Mike City First, I don't care what the public thinks. I just want to make an opinion based on context and what I see in sports. Again, I still believe that just because there's been guys that don't deserve it doesn't mean somebody like Phillip Rivers should get in. I still believe he's very good and not great. I still believe Adam Vinatieri is more qualified. That being said, Phillip Rivers deserves to be in the National Football League Hall of Fame because of one reason. He started for so long. Again, he was not great, but he was so very good, and quarterback position can be so easily just criticized and how dare you. But for the first time on my show ever, I am compromising about a bold take I've had. This is not because of what he did in Indianapolis. I care less about what he did with the Colts. I didn't want him on the Colts in the first place. I still do not care that he was on there. So what if he made it to the playoffs? We were supposed to with that roster. Stop it. I would like to say, Phillip Rivers, you're a Hall of Famer because you started for 17 seasons. And that's insane. Like, one of the biggest problems I have with LeBron James not being considered the GOAT, LeBron has been doing it for so long at such a good level. While Rivers' level is not as high as LeBron James, of course, in basketball, Phillip Rivers has still showed up for years. I don't give guys brownie points for playing with torn ACLs, although I get it. But I don't view it like gladiator stuff like that as something special. But he tried for so long, although he didn't get over the hump, although he wasn't great or transcending, he was still good for a long time. And that's not what many people can say. I know what you're saying, I told you so. No, again, you've told me he put up stats. I don't care about stats. I care he was a starting quarterback at the highest level for so long. Like, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been in the league for years. Doesn't mean he should be in the Hall of Fame. But the Rivers was there. And for the most part, his team was competitive. I have to compromise. Drew Brees. Oh, boy. His wife put out an Instagram post a couple of weeks ago and basically told people that, Drew Brees, if you thought the broken ribs was a problem, oh boy, this guy dealt with everything this year. To that I say, who cares, Mrs. Brees? Who cares? I understand that Drew Brees played through injuries. I understand some of his injuries may have been worse than others. I understand that poor little old Drew Brees, oh my goodness. I also, maybe I'm just pissed off that he didn't show up against the Buccaneers. Because he gave Tom Brady that game, let's be fair. But Drew Brees, I have something to break to you. It's maybe breaking news to the Drew Brees family. We don't care. You know how many guys play football all year long with stuff that we don't know about? I know it may seem anti-sympathetic. I don't know if that's a word. I don't know if it seems unsympathetic or very uncompassionate on my part to say that. But there are so many guys that sacrifice so much. And for Drew Brees' wife, and she didn't mean to do this, but she was doing it in a sense. For her to give excuses of this, I'm sorry, my poor baby, for all your torn rotator cuff. Listen, why was that never considered in the media? If it was that big of a problem, you don't think somehow it would have been leaked? Why did she feel the need to specify those things? Is it because your husband stunk up the joint throwing the football? Even if Tom Brady's on HGH, his arm was still more powerful than Drew Brees. So, Drew, why does your wife feel compelled to do that? Make an appreciation post. Talk about injuries, but don't specify a torn rotator cuff on his right shoulder. For those of you watching and not listening to the replay, this is the world's tiniest violin. I'm a Drew Brees fan. I'm not saying he wasn't hurting. I'm not saying it wasn't affecting his game. I'm saying he showed up. And he convinced people like me that Jameis Winston was not the guy. I still don't believe Jameis Winston is the guy. But Drew Brees, that's not an excuse for why you sucked all year. When we come back, we're talking about Tyler Valdez. I've had him on the show before, but we'll talk about his bold prediction for the NBA season and also his power rankings via his new article on UntiltedSportsNetwork.com. This is Mike Said It First, and also rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, and we'll also have a moment of silence for Saku Smith later on the show.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. But challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air network.
Did you lose money over the weekend on Conor McGregor's fights? That's really a shame. If you had gone to mybookie.ag and enter the promo code TONSPORTS, that's 12OZ Sports, all caps, no spaces, you could have had your first deposit doubled up to $1,000. But instead, you deposited $50. Now you don't have 50 more bucks to spare. I'm sorry about that. At least you're here now. This article is Tyler Valdez. We've had Tyler on the show before. You can check out my YouTube page on Mike Said It First on YouTube. You can find a link to that on UntiltedSportsNetwork.com/Mike. That's a weird looking shoe. Like, coming soon is a shoe that looks like our other 10,000 shoes. I'm sorry. As Tyler Valdez says, we're getting close to a quarter of the way through the NBA season, and it's a perfect time to drop some power rankings. Tyler's a bold prediction. The Lakers will be the top team, and the Pistons will be the bottom team for the entire season. So let's go through his list of Lakers all the way down to the Pistons, and do I agree? Lakers, of course, are 13-4, and I've already mentioned LeBron James is incredible, and that team is so good. They are blowing teams out. It's really insane what they've been doing. Shout out to the Lakers, shout out LeBron, shout out Tyler Valdez for acknowledging that. The Los Angeles Clippers are also better than last season. They also sit at 13-4. I actually want to mention that Paul George is the number one And that could be the best thing that ever happened to Kawhi Leonard in his young career so far, besides Kevin Durant carrying up his Achilles. The Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, after being slighted by Shaq, is still going off. And I don't believe what Shaq said was trying to clout chase or be dramatic. I think Shaq roots for the guy. He just didn't think the guy has what it takes to win. I don't know what it is, but I still agree with Shaq, but Donovan Mitchell been balling. So is Rudy Gobert, but Rudy Gobert's holding him back. Boy, Doc Rivers has Joel Embiid looking good. You know, it's almost amazing what a healthy Joel Embiid can do for a team, isn't it? This team has been impressive. They're way better than what they were with Brett Brown. The Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis is still off and on with his threes, but Drew Holiday has been a big pickup for that team. DiVincenzo playing well. Chris Middleton stepping up big time. We saw that in the Nets game earlier this season. Speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, how on earth the Brooklyn Nets 10-8 in the last 4 games they've had that roster? Whatever. Denver Nuggets are 9-7. Jamal Murray, I don't know why people keep on thinking, oh, I cannot wait for this guy. He's clutch, but Jamal Murray, let's be real with ourselves, he's not consistent. Yeah, he had the great bubble experience. So what? I've not been impressed with Jamal Murray's career ever. He's a nice young player. He still has failed to take that next step. Nikola Jokic is a monster. He can't even jump. So people have asked me, why can't you jump? Or what does it look like when you jump? Google Nikola Jokic jumping. That's not a joke. Google Nikola Jokic jumping. That is literally my vertical, and that is not a joke. Even when I was skinnier, that was my vertical. I swear to you. The Celtics with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have played well. They've had some injury problems as well. The Pacers with Domantas Sabonis has been a beast, but he's kind of slowed back down. The Phoenix Suns, boy oh boy, has Chris Paul helped them out. The pick and roll DeAndre Ayton is the thing of beauty, and Devin Booker is still Devin Booker. Plus, I love their head coach. Oh my gosh, I love their head coach. That rounds of the top 10. You got Hawks at 11, and Trae Young's having a great year. Had like 3 games where he wasn't playing very well, then came back and scored a 42-piece. The Golden State Warriors, of course, with James Wiseman, who's a monster of a man. And, of course, you see Steph Curry playing well. I've grown respect for Steph Curry. He's playing smarter this year, in my opinion. The Trailblazers lost C.J. McCollum for a good 4 weeks. He was averaging 26 points per game. And newsflash, Yusuf Nurkic is injured once again. Good Lord. The Mavericks are number 14. Luka's averaging triple-doubles right now, but it's not like it means anything. Porzingis still has to be incorporating the offense a little bit better. I think the Mavericks are underachieving, actually. Spurs, don't know why they're good. Oh, wait, yes, I do. Greg Popovich. Grizzlies, John Morant was out for like 5 weeks, but he's back. Knicks, Julius Randle is that dude. I told you guys when he was with the Pelicans, he played well. I told you guys last year Julius Randle wasn't bad, and he's playing well again. The Miami Heat's last 5 or 6 games, they're numbers 18. They've had COVID. They've had injury problems. Give them a break. Cavaliers might be the best 8-8 team in NBA history. They played the Lakers well. They beat the Nets twice. Raptors are finally getting stride once again. They're still 7-9. That was the top 20. Hornets have Gordon Hayward playing well. LaMelo Ball is starting to pick himself up. The Bulls have Kobe White, who I've loved since North Carolina. He's a monster. Oh, I meant to say Pacers also have Malcolm Brogdon, who I've been a fan of since like his 3rd year at Virginia. But the Bulls, of course, have Kobe White. And their team's been okay, but not great. The Thunder are number 23 at 6-9. Shea's good, but that's about it. Orlando Magic, I think, have some injury problems as well. Kings, De'Aaron Fox, he's like Deshaun Watson. He's probably going to want out, but he's the idiot to sign the extension. Pelicans, Zion Williamson has looked great. Brandon Ingram is still a good player, not a great player yet. Rockets are 27th. They're a good 27th at 6-9. Like, the league has so much good teams this year. Like, I believe the road teams this year are having their best record yet. No surprise, there's not many fans. But great job for the Rockets with John Wall coming into his own. The Washington Wizards, Christian Wood looks good as well. The Wizards with Russell Westbrook started off so bad, they finally started winning games. Bradley Beal needs to be traded, but I'm like, why? Is there a reason he hasn't been traded yet? Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, and Cat are still 4-11. And the Pistons are 3-13. Pistons have Derrick Rose. Low key, Derrick Rose needs to get up out of there. Shout out my man Tyler Valdez though for that article. Let's get to our show recap and recap some of the best stuff today on Mike Said It First as we talk about a great night of just Mike and sports and all kind of good stuff. Remember, at 12ounce_Mike is the place to be, or 12ouncesportsnetwork.com/Mike. See some links to my videos and see some other stuff. Hashtag 12OZMike for stuff that, like if you want to join debates or talk about stuff with your boy. Let's check that out. I'm going to check that out real quick while we're doing this. I'll leave if anybody chime in. I have not. That's okay, though. Let's click on the hashtag. Nothing yet. That's okay, though. We're still learning. We're still learning, my boys. So again, it's Tuesday, January 26, 2021. And I'll be honest with you guys. Tom Brady, it just made me mad. Tom Brady, I feel like, again, every single game I've watched him play, it's all about the referees. We can't keep doing that, man. We cannot keep doing that. Tom Brady is a guy who is a good quarterback, but people give him more credit than it's worth, okay? So, come on now. By the way, Bradley Beal. Somebody said that it's the Hoop Central. Should Bradley Beal request a trade? If Mike didn't say it first, I don't know who did. Okay. But no, it's been a real one today. Tom Brady, I just wish I would watch a Tom Brady game and he actually plays well. Or if he doesn't play well, people give his team credits. I don't know what to tell you right now. Chris Godwin has dropping problems, by the way. That has to be talked about. I don't know how much more playing time he's going to get in the Super Bowl because he had like 2 drops again on the championship game. Again, as for the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, I believe Chiefs will win. I've not picked up my full prediction just yet, but I believe that Patrick Mahomes is just that dude. Remember the toe injury? Patrick Mahomes was just fine. Josh Allen came unglued in the end of that Buffalo Bills game. I was not very impressed with that. He threw a football at the guy who tackled him. It's like, are you stupid? Like, poor baby got his feelings hurt because he's not who we thought he was, and that's just stupid to me. We'll take one more commercial break, and then we'll talk about Kobe Bryant and Saku Smith.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. But challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air network.
Why does it hurt? Most of us didn't know you. We didn't play against you. We just saw you on TV. Was it the 5 championships showing your heart of a champion that brought us in? Could it have been your mentality and focus that resembled a black mamba, which inspired young and old alike to try harder so they could go further? Was it possibly your legacy outside of basketball? We feel empty. We have no words. It feels like something is missing. There's such a mixture of bad emotions. Your name stuck the first time we ever heard it. Whether you wore an 8 or 24, you never cheated us. You overcame obstacles and never quit. The accolades can be repeated, and rightfully so, but we all know how great you were without hearing the stats. Whether it's 81 points or 60, you will live on. Thank you for entertaining us. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for being you. So why does it hurt so much? We did know you by the way you played and lived. Thank you, Kobe Bryant. Let's have a moment of silence for Kobe Bryant and another legend, Saku Smith, who died literally today, 1 year after Kobe. If you don't know who Saku Smith was, Saku actually, he passed away from COVID-19 complications, according to NBA TV. And Saku Smith was a guy who, I believe he did the MVP ladder on NBA.com. Constantly featured on there. If you ever got to see him on NBA TV, he seemed like a cool dude. And that's not me speculating. That seems like a true thing. Rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace, Saku Smith. Death is not fun. About a year ago, in a couple of months, I lost really the first ever person I called. The first person I remember I called a friend that died. It was Fred White. His death inspired me to write a lot of the songs that you've heard on my YouTube channel. Songs like Goodbye and Unfair, Dying Soon. He was taken away by cancer. And I was 23. I'm 24 now, but I was 23. And for 23 years, I never really experienced death. But people like older people would die, but nobody that I really considered a friend had died. So I never really appreciated what people go through. Death is not fun. Life is too short for now. But shout outs, people that knew Kobe and people that knew Saku Smith. You don't want to wish death on anybody. It affects so many people. Like, folks don't realize, let's say somebody who's a terrible convicted felon of just something terrible, right? Just terrible crime. And they die. People say, oh, well, good riddance. Well, what about his family? What if his mom was a good person? What if he has children or brothers or sisters? Death affects so many people. And for right now, it's unfair. But I kind of got sick to my stomach when Saku Smith. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. But 7:45 Eastern when I really, I was like, Saku Smith? Like, I saw a post, and it was like, I remember you, Saku. I was like, well, what, he died? I looked on Twitter, and sad, man. So I say all that to say, at Torrance Sports, we have a family here. Love the people that we have. But never forget who you love. Never forget people. Always smile. Never leave somebody hating them. You know, always leave loving them. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Goodbye.